Did y'all like that intro? Hello everyone, I am Minidroit, and you all know about Roblox myths, right? Roblox myths are ARGs made in Roblox, and they've been around for a while. While Roblox myths nowadays are dead, it doesn't mean people are trying to capture the glory of myths like Gauze or Redden and Grocery Gang. There's a large community of small and active Roblox myths, like Alia's Garden and the subject of today's video, Portrait. Portrait is a new art-centric Roblox myth with one game, the Gallery. Now, they randomly appear in my recommended games tab, but its concept and presentation fascinated me. And hey, it'll be my first time reviewing a Roblox myth, so let's get to it. When reviewing a game, it's important to see what it's about, so let's get its description. There are some pretty big names for this project, and by big names I mean one, Fiddlepat. None of that matters if the game isn't good. As I love the game, all I can say is, wow, this game has some nice building. The lighting and seating mood of the gallery is well established, and Portrait even manages to populate with fan art, which I find cool. It kinda reminds me of Gerd Tenna's exhibit, but less avant-garde. Aside from interactable paintings and seats, there's an NPC you can talk to. Their name is Picto, and they are the owner of the gallery. I was actually surprised by the character's inclusion, as most Roblox games don't take that extra step to add characters with personality and depth. I really liked Picto's dialogue. It's a great way of introducing the game's objective while also giving the game more character. Like, if I insult art, are you implying that you don't care about art? It's so infuriating to counter those clueless ignorance.
Art transcends the mundane and connects to our very core mind.
Okay, I think I've made my point. Good character. Even if they make me cry. The first world is a shape plane, where Picto shows off the power of geometry. While I'm here, I'm also holding gameplay of this experience. Do you like walking around the embassy looking for hidden clues? Good. I do too. I've already gushed about how I enjoy exploring maps, so the gallery's realms really appeal to me. Now, I do have some grievances with this first area. Most importantly, its size and direction. I love exploration, but only to a certain extent. If I'm spending hours walking around a map I've been through inside out, I'll be very bored. This map is a glorified maze, with various drawings of Picto scattered around. It has some nice wind ambiance and the dullest spells that I've ever heard. Overall, not much exciting. Anyway, you find a tip by going to the side of this arch and pressing a button that is, admittedly, hard to see. Good thing that Picto left a drawing next to it because I would not be able to find it independently. So I clicked the button and... no sound effects. The first save is in a hatch on the other side of the arch, but there should have been a sound effect to indicate that a hatch is open or something has changed. I genuinely don't know why there aren't any event sound effects in this level, especially since it has. This confused my first playthrough and we spent 15 extra minutes backtracking because I didn't know if the button did anything. Come on, it's like 3 lines of code max. Anyway, now that I have the first tape, let's listen to it.
Welcome to my gallery. Please take a seat anywhere you want to and make yourself as comfortable as possible. I can't understand you. Can you get please?
Yeah, this is the same for all the tapes. The audio quality is horrendous. I can understand if it's an aesthetic choice, but I can't stand it. If you want to establish your myth's lore, why don't you obfuscate the media that conveys said lore? The auditory distortion is too extreme to be pleasurable. Please make it clearer. You can keep the old and faded aesthetic while making your audio intelligible. The producer must have emphasized art over form and the tape suffered because of it. Wow, the line goes hard. Final thoughts on the shape plane? It's fine. A nice introduction to the myth, but a slightly flawed one. The next realm is called Recollection, and it takes place inside of a suburban house. The atmosphere is hazy and distant, supported by the dominant sound of crickets. Well, those are some Half-Life 2 ambiance. I get that this realm is supposed to represent a fuzzy memory, and it does achieve that vibe, but I really dislike the blurred look of everything in the house. Now, I am using FXA to make the edges look less jagged, so it could be interfering in the video feed and making things look worse. But I still see that slight bloom on objects was the best artistic choice that could have been made. To emphasize that this is a faint and fleeting memory, I would have the objects deform slightly or change shape every time you look at them, representing inconsistencies of dreams and memories. Granted, I don't know anything about programming and I can only assume this is a hard thing to do, but I'm sure that would be cool and look better than a headache-inducing global bloom. Anyway, exploring the house, the environment is pretty unnerving. While the house is presumably yours, there are 2 ominous shut-off rooms and you can't leave the house through the front door. Even if the owner has roommates, there are no signs of life, you really get that feeling that you're not supposed to be here. The room you wake up in has some smeared art products and a damaged canvas, clearly the actions of a frustrated artist, and being dropped into the room in medias res furthers its ominous vibe. This atmosphere is compounded by odd paintings of humanoid cats, with their features contorted. Exploring the environment is much more interesting than the previous realm because the map is smaller and denser. While exploring the kitchen and ignoring the IRS, you find a safe behind an out-of-place mirror. After finding the code in a red book on the shelf, you open the safe and find a second tape. Overall, this was better than the first realm. Much more unnerving and interesting to explore. Where does it fit into the lore? I don't know, you have to figure it out yourself. But it's a very interesting realm. Oh, and you can get a badge by finding picked out under the bed. I would tell you what the second tape was about, but
You know, I don't know anything to make such a place. It was oddly familiar to me. Probably a subconscious thing.
The third realm is called Pier, and it's about the sacrosanctity of nature. Now, I've had issues with the past two realms, but those were minor issues that did not affect the gameplay experience too much. Sure, I didn't like some of the creative choices made, but I still enjoyed exploring the maps and finding the tapes. This realm, though, don't get me started. If the difficulties of the past two realms were like ground floor, then this realm is the 122nd floor of the Empire State Building. I genuinely would not be able to complete this realm if I hadn't looked for the answer online, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on the good aspects of this realm. As per usual, the building's great. The overgrown foliage and receding pillars build the abandoned aesthetic of this realm, with the Roman pillars emphasizing feelings of past antiquity and abandonment. Anyway, on a nearby island there's a bronze plate with a poem inscribed onto it. In heaven's vast or earthly floor, this phrase in wisdom does explore. From cosmic stars to roots that grow, what's the secret of... Oh great, an original poem we have to complete. Riveting. I feel like this puzzle is too vague. Sure, from a general rhyme scheme we discern that our phrase must rhyme with grow and must deal with verticality of some sort. But leaving it as an open prompt is unfair. There are an infinite number of phrases that can fit into this blank. All falls like snow, the sun's final blow, all high, all low. Don't you see the issues with open prompt answers? The players at the whim of random chance having to continually guess until they get the right answer. Hell, with how poetry is, we aren't even 100% sure if they rhyme. It's not uncommon for poetry to subvert expectations. For all we know, the answer could be Noel Gallagher or Adventure. I'm convinced that 95% of players ask for the answer or watch the guide to Past Realm. I know I did. Why can't the answer be hidden somewhere in the map? You can't place it on a plaque for the water fountain or have separated each word between the 4 benches. Moving in by a Renan is a great example of how to make open prompts fair. Throughout the house, there are multiple notes that give you the words required to open the blocked doors. Oh, and by the way, the answer is, as above, so below. What the hell? How would anyone find that on their own? The syllable structure doesn't even match the previous line. As below makes the final line 9 syllables, while the penultimate line is 8 syllables. And no, even though the first line is 9 syllables, I doubt that many would expect syllabic symmetry in this poem. Even knowing the phrase, I just can't see how anyone would get this answer independently. It's such a great and unnecessary difficulty spike that severely hammers the gameplay experience. Puzzle games should be about exploring the environment to find clues, not guessing and checking. Oh, and it's case sensitive, so that's just great. The tape doesn't even teleport you back to the lobby, you have to leave and rejoin. Anyway, final thoughts on this realm. Unfair. I'm not even going to bother with the future tapes, you can't understand any of them. Fourth realm, Ascension. Sure, this can't be as hard as the last one, right? Now, granted, it is fairer than the last realm, mostly because the goal of it is simple. Find 5 fragments in a small cathedral, but the lighting and building actually hinders the player's ability to find these fragments. So, your goal is to find black fragments inside of a dark room, with the fragments having no outline or shine and without a lamp. Yeah, great design choice. On my first playthroughs, I found 3 of the fragments easily, and then proceeded to spend hours looking for the 4th one. Now, hold on guys, did you all see it? Here, let me help you. Oops, too much. Do you all see it now? The 4th shard is right here, in the dark corner of this doorframe. Why? My life and experience of others would be infinitely easier if the fragments had some shine or sparkle, but they are opaque and intentionally hidden in tedious places. It doesn't help that there are multiple red herrings within the level. Look, you can climb these vines. Is there a fragment up there? Nope, they're there for no reason. Have you ever heard of Chekhov's gun? Whatever. Entering the basement, you see 3 pillars with multiple shapes that are associated with the myth. You also see an unconscious person who's holding the final shard. I don't know who this person is, nor do I know the relevancy to the myth. Anyway, the tape is assembled and the environment becomes even darker, which is great. The tape is somewhere. I don't remember. I did not enjoy my time in this realm. Like the last level, the gameplay experience is atrocious because the developers emphasize aesthetic over functionality. It's too dark for its own good and an annoyance to the player. I'm still baffled by how the developers thought it'd be a good idea to put black fragments in a dark room without giving the players any way to like the environment. It's such a bad design choice. Final realm as of now, Pantheon. After the hells that were realms 3 and 4, Pantheon's actually really nice. First off, it has an original song to accompany it. The song is fine, but I still appreciate its existence. As per usual, the building's really nice, but this time there's some easy logic. As you explore the map, you notice a painting of the Triangle Man. So it's logical to pay close attention to the triangle statue, and would you look at that? There's a key embedded within his back. So, we use this key to open the gates and solve simple rearranging game based on the orientation of the tables. See? Now that was a good challenge. It used visual clues from around the map and had a defined answer. It also included a good physical puzzle and was enjoyable to play through. It wasn't near impossible free response question or a poor design fetch quest. Overall, I really enjoyed the 5th realm. It was short, simple, and engaging. And so far, those are the only realms in the game. If the 6th realm comes out during the editing process, I'll include a segment here. So, that was Portraits Gallery. Overall, not great. It's actually kind of surprising. When I first played the game, I thought it'd be an amazing game to make a video on a review, but having replayed it, I realized how flawed it is. It's mostly because the lure of it being new as superior, I view it without rose-tinted glasses now. While the building and atmosphere were nice, it felt more like a showcase with lore than a fair exploration game. There are too many egregious game design decisions that take away from the gameplay experience for me to give this game a high score. I would recommend this game to others, but I'd have to guide them because I'm sure to be perplexed in realms 3 and 4 like I was. So, I have to give the game a 5 out of 10. It focuses too much on aesthetic and atmosphere and this massacres the gameplay experience. If I had to remedy these issues, I'd give the taped subtitles, leave active hints in realm 3, and give the fragments a white outline if you hover over them. These would greatly improve the gameplay experience. Of course, this isn't a diss against Portrait Order developers. I want to see the myth flourish and improve, but with its current state, it'll be hard for many to love it. So, that was Portraits of Gallery. If I had to guess what the lore was, art and stuff. Goodbye all.